Welcome! Join me on a journey across the world's oceans and through time itself. We'll explore legendary voyages, stories of courage, ambition, and the relentless curiosity that shaped our history. From ancient wooden ships to modern marvels, each wave carries a tale of human spirit. Prepare to be inspired by explorers who saw the horizon not as an end, but a beginning. The ocean awaits. Let's set sail into these incredible stories. In 1519, 5 ships left Spain under Ferdinand Magellan, seeking to prove the world was round by sailing west to the east. The journey was brutal. Storms, starvation, and mutiny tested the crew's limits. Magellan's unwavering resolve led them through the strait that now bears his name, into the vast Pacific. 99 days without land nearly broke them. Only 18 of 270 men returned. Magellan died in the Philippines, but his crew completed the first circumnavigation. Their voyage shattered old maps and ideas, uniting the continents into a single world. The world, once divided, was now whole. 1492. 3 ships, the Nina, Pinta, and Santa Maria, set sail from Spain, led by Christopher Columbus. The Atlantic was a sea of myth and fear, but Columbus saw it as a path to opportunity. Weeks of endless water bred fear and talk of mutiny. Columbus, ever the leader, kept hope alive with clever logbooks and promises of land. On October 12th, a lookout's cry, "Land," changed history. Columbus hadn't reached Asia, but a new world. This moment collided 2 worlds, unleashing change on a global scale. The world would never be the same. In 1620, the Mayflower braved the North Atlantic, carrying over 100 pilgrims seeking freedom. The ship, unfit for passengers, endured 66 days of storms and sickness. United by faith and purpose, the passengers drafted the Mayflower Compact, a foundation for self-governance. Landing far north of their goal, they faced a harsh winter that claimed half their number. Yet, they endured, forging a new society. The Mayflower story is not about navigation, but resilience and the power of an idea. It planted the seeds of American democracy. In 1768, Captain James Cook's HMS Endeavour set sail, driven by Enlightenment curiosity. Cook's mission: observe Venus in Tahiti and search for the mythical southern continent. With naturalist Joseph Banks, Cook mapped New Zealand and Australia, dispelling old myths. Encounters with Pacific peoples were complex, but Cook documented cultures and nature with unprecedented detail. His strict health regimen saved lives, making long voyages possible. Cook's voyages transformed maps and turned exploration into science. The age of discovery became the age of understanding. Before Europe's explorers, China's Ming Dynasty launched the colossal treasure fleet under Admiral Zheng He. Hundreds of ships, some over 400 feet long, sailed the Indian Ocean, projecting Chinese power and diplomacy. The fleet carried gifts, traded for exotic goods, and navigated with advanced charts and compasses. Their voyages reached as far as Africa, establishing a vast network of influence. But after the Yongle Emperor's death, China turned inward, ending its maritime dominance. The great ships were abandoned, records destroyed, and ocean exploration ceased. This retreat left the seas open for European expansion, a turning point in world history. In 1947, Thor Heyerdahl and 5 others set out on the Kon-Tiki, a balsa raft, to prove Polynesia could be reached from South America. Using only ancient materials, they drifted 101 days across the Pacific, surviving storms and sea creatures. Their journey was a living experiment, testing Heyerdahl's radical theory. The Kon-Tiki crashed onto a Polynesian reef, proof such a voyage was possible. Though later evidence favored Asian origins for Polynesians, the expedition captured the world's imagination. It showed the power of bold ideas and human endurance. Sometimes, the journey itself is the discovery. The spirit of adventure endures. 1914. Sir Ernest Shackleton's Endurance became trapped in Antarctic ice, dooming his dream of crossing the continent. For months, the crew survived on drifting ice, then in lifeboats to desolate Elephant Island. Shackleton and 5 men sailed 800 miles in a tiny boat to South Georgia, braving the world's roughest seas. They crossed the island's mountains to reach help. Against all odds, every crew member survived. the Endurance expedition is not about discovery but survival. It's a testament to leadership, resilience, and the will to live. Sometimes, the greatest journey is simply coming home. Shackleton's legacy endures. In 1497, Vasco da Gama led 4 Portuguese ships to find a sea route to India, bypassing overland monopolies. Da Gama's bold navigation took them far from land for months, then around Africa's Cape of Good Hope. Entering the Indian Ocean, they faced new challenges, complex trade networks and wary locals. With help from an Arab navigator, they reached India in 23 days. The voyage connected Europe and Asia by sea, shifting global power. Though trade was minimal at first, the route sparked an age of empire and global commerce. Da Gama's journey redrew the world's economic map. The winds of change had arrived. In 1831, HMS Beagle set sail with young Charles Darwin aboard. Darwin collected thousands of specimens, observing nature's diversity from South America to the Galapagos. He noticed finches and tortoises uniquely adapted to each island, planting seeds of doubt about a static world. These observations later led to his theory of evolution by natural selection. The Beagle's voyage was more than a journey. It changed our understanding of life itself. Sometimes the greatest discoveries are about how we see the world. Darwin's journey transformed science forever. After Kon-Tiki, Thor Heyerdahl wondered if ancient Egyptians could cross the Atlantic in papyrus boats. In 1969, he built the Ra, a reed boat, and set sail from Morocco with a multinational crew. The first attempt failed, but Heyerdahl learned from it. In 1970, Ra too succeeded, reaching Barbados after 57 days. Heyerdahl proved ancient technology could survive the Atlantic. The Ra expeditions challenged assumptions about ancient seafaring. They remind us that history is full of possibilities waiting to be tested. Human ingenuity knows no bounds. In 1968, the Golden Globe race challenged sailors to circumnavigate the globe solo and non-stop. Robin Knox Johnston, in his small ketch Suhaili, was the only finisher. He battled storms, isolation, and equipment failures for 312 days. Alone and cut off from the world, he pressed on as others dropped out. Knox Johnston became the first person to sail solo non-stop around the world. He donated his prize to a fallen competitor's family. His voyage was a quiet triumph of resilience and spirit. Sometimes the greatest battles are fought alone. HMS Bounty's 1787 voyage to transport breadfruit ended in mutiny. Harsh Captain Bligh and the allure of Tahiti's paradise fueled resentment. Fletcher Christian led the mutineers, casting Bligh and loyalists adrift in a tiny boat. Bligh's epic 600-mile journey to safety remains legendary. The mutineers vanished to remote Pitcairn Island, creating a new isolated society. The Bounty story is one of rebellion, survival, and the search for freedom. Two parallel tales, one of endurance, one of escape. The legend endures. In 1912, the Titanic set sail as the world's largest, most luxurious ship, deemed unsinkable. For days it was a floating palace, but warnings of ice went unheeded. On April 14th, the ship struck an iceberg and sank in hours. Over 1,500 lives were lost, exposing class divides and safety failures. The disaster shocked the world, shattering faith in technology. Titanic's story is a cautionary tale of hubris and vulnerability. It marks the end of a gilded age and the beginning of new maritime safety. The legend of Titanic endures. The Santa Maria, Columbus's flagship, was slow and cumbersome, but led the 1492 expedition. Life aboard was cramped and tense, with Columbus managing anxious, mutinous crews. The ship's journey ended on a sandbank off Haiti, forcing Columbus to leave men behind. Its wreck became the first European settlement in the New World. The Santa Maria never returned to Spain, but its legacy lived on. Sometimes the vessel is lost, but the journey changes history. The flagship's bones became part of a new world. The greatest voyage was the Polynesian settlement of the Pacific, a 1,000-year epic of navigation. Using double-hulled canoes, they crossed a third of the planet, guided by stars, swells, and birds. These wayfinders mastered non-instrument navigation, reading the ocean as a living map. Their knowledge was passed down in chants and stories. The Polynesian Triangle, Hawaii, Easter Island, New Zealand, marks their achievement. Their story is one of courage, ingenuity, and deep connection to nature. The ocean was their home and their legacy endures. Thank you for joining this voyage through history's greatest journeys. We've sailed with explorers, survivors, and dreamers who changed our world. These stories remind us of the unyielding spirit that drives us to seek new horizons. If you've been inspired, consider subscribing to help us share more tales of adventure. Every journey begins with a single wave. May yours be filled with discovery. The world is full of stories waiting to be told.